Yeah. All right. So thank you for taking the time to record with me this morning. I mean tonight, your time.
Yeah.
I I appreciate it very much. So first off, is it Jekka? May I call you that, or let's stick to Jessica?
Honestly, Jessica, Jess, Jekka, anything. Jekka is like a family name
Right. Right.
that my Lola calls me. And
Ah,
yeah, it's like everyone calls me that in the
yeah.
family. So if you want to call me Jekka, Bella started calling me Jekka. So
Oh, yeah, because I saw that in a big banner in Rizal, so I thought
yeah,
I was gonna call you that. All
yeah, for
right.
sure.
So, how are you? What have you been up to after the big tournament?
I'm good. I'm good. I've just been, getting into training a lot. Doing what I can to stay sharp for the next campaign. So looking forward to that. But yeah, just been training.
All right, so let's jump in. Okay, so you have a big group of supporters in the crowd during the games in Rizal. Like I mentioned with that huge banner too. How close are you to your Filipino side of the family?
I am pretty close, at least to the ones that live here in the States. We all, or most of us, the majority of us live in California, Northern California. So that's nice. I'm always trying to visit them whenever I'm home. And I've talked to my Filipino side in this like trip was the first time I've met them, but it was kind of just like we've already known each other and seen each other, you know, previously. So that was nice. It was nice to, hang out with them and talk with them and kind of like get to know them a little bit more outside of like the Facebook messages. So yeah.
All right, cool, cool. Did you get to like hang out with them after the tournament?
Yeah, it was nice. Not as much as I would like to. Obviously, like
Mm.
time with family is never enough, but they did drive down all the way from Quezon City through traffic, like the majority of the days to hang out. So it was nice walking around BGC with them and just, hanging out and talking.
Nice, nice. So, please correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm just basing this off on the internet and what I've known so far. So you played mostly an 8 or a 10, right? Attacking mid in your club career when you were younger. Okay.
Yeah.
And now with the national team, you play as a defender. So which position or role do you like most or prefer?
Well, I like them both, obviously. Like you said, like in club, I played attacking mid, and then in college, I transitioned to more of a defensive mid role, so the six, and then now I'm playing center back. So it was kind of a natural progression throughout the years, I would say, towards the back. And they're all central, like positioned centrally, and they have similar roles. Um, but I would say right now I prefer center back just because I've been playing it more often. But I like them all. I like being in the middle. I would say I like center back just because I like to see everything in front of me and kind of have the whole team in front of me and orchestrate from the back line. But I also like that element of surprise of like being a center back and dribbling out of the back and kind of like messing up the other team, having them not know what I'm doing next. Never let them know your next move. But yeah, I would say right now I prefer center back, but I do love a good moment in the midfield for sure.
Yeah, we've seen that. Going forward.
Yeah, yeah, surprise.
All right. So not a lot of football fans here in the Philippines are familiar with the Pac-12 where you played it. Could you share how was that experience like for you and how competitive it is and or maybe how it has shaped you as a player?
Yeah, for sure. Um, in the States, the Pac-12 is one of the most competitive conferences for women's soccer, women's college soccer. It's a Power Five conference. And I would say it's helped turn me into a completely different player competitively, mentally, soccer IQ wise. It's made me think faster, be faster, and just be more tenacious. But I've played against players that are now playing for the US, playing for England. Like I played against Alessia Russo back in 2019. I've played against Kat Macario. Naomi Germa, Tiana Davidson, Andy Sullivan. So I've played against some of the top players who are representing their countries now, and um, I would say it's helped mold me into, a better player. Obviously, when you play players of that caliber, you have to be great, and they've made me into the player I am today. So yeah, but overall, college women's soccer in the U.S. is huge. Just for women that want to go towards the next step. But I would say it's incredibly competitive. It was a grind. I played 4 seasons. I was there for 5 seasons, and every minute was a competition. So, and I enjoyed every minute of it. But yeah, it's kind of how it was.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. I did not know you played for you played against those players, so that's really
Yeah.
good. All right. So you only started playing pro this year in Turkey, and now you're with the Storm in the WPSL. What's next for you? Are you looking at playing at a European club, or staying in the US?
Um, I mean, obviously, I'd love to go back and play in Europe. I loved it. I love the culture that surrounds soccer abroad, or football abroad. My bad. Sorry. But wheels are turning. There's movements being made. In the near future, you guys might see it. It'll be a surprise, but um, yeah, I think things are happening behind the scenes here, and so I'm excited for the next step, and I'm even more excited to get back with the team soon. So
All right, that's exciting. So you previously played for US Futsal with Ray, actually, even winning World Championship in 2017. So what made you decide to finally play for the Philippines?
yeah, so that experience, it was super cool. I mean, I was only what, 17 at the time, and it wasn't like a FIFA regulated team or anything. It was kind of my local futsal club was like kind of chosen to represent the US at this World Championship. So that's kind of how the opportunity came about. But I've always wanted to play for the Philippines. I've just, I've never these past 4 years, man, they've like been so jam packed with just things, and I've been so busy. I've never been home long enough to actually apply for dual citizenship and become a dual citizen. And so when I finished my last season at UW, I jumped at the opportunity to become a dual citizen. And it got kind of slowed down by going to Turkey, but it came just in the right time for this campaign, and I couldn't be happier. I mean, I've always wanted to play for the Philippines. It's in my blood. And I feel like I've been waiting for so long for this opportunity. So, timing is everything, and everything happens for a reason, but I'm really glad that I'm a part of it now.
It is, right? All in God's time. So
Yeah.
I'm glad you made it. And yeah, just to piggyback on that, I've seen your photos and videos since, I don't know, 2012, 2013. And at that time, I was exchanging messages with Mark Manguni almost on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And you were one of the players that he was raving about. Like he was telling me, we gotta do something, we gotta have her, otherwise the US will get her.
Oh my God, that's so sweet. Yeah. I remember because I did have an opportunity to travel with the team
Mhm.
back when that camp happened, but I was only like 12. So I was just not ready at all for any of it. I don't think I really understood the scope of like how big of an opportunity it was. I was just too young, and even my grandparents, who like obviously I needed for the dual citizenship, they didn't like. They were just like, "What? Like, what's going on? Like, I don't know about this." So, um, yeah, at that point, I was really young, but it was always in the back of my mind, like, "Hey, like I could play for the Philippines. Like, I do have this opportunity." So it's always been on my mind for sure. But yeah, again, the timing just wasn't right up until now. So
Right, right. Yeah, I think it's the same with Chandler as well. That took a while. Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
what were your expectations, or did you have any concerns about joining the national team, if you had any?
Yeah, I mean, I have I always have high expectations. I think for whatever I'm getting myself into, not just for myself, but the situation that I'm entering, and it's international football. So I think you'll always have like a certain standard in your head going into it. And obviously knowing a good portion of the girls on the team beforehand, and just hearing kind of their experiences in recent games and recent tournaments, I did have high expectations because I was like, this is, kind of a different team than I've seen in the past. So I was excited about it. And really my only concern was hitting the ground running because we didn't have a lot of time before our first game. And um, my biggest concern was how can I make an impact and how can I kind of fit myself into this system that I've never played in before. And how can I create chemistry with girls that I've never met before and that I have to get to know in the span of a week. Because we have about 10, 11, 12, a lot of games to play in the next month and a half. And there's really no time for like an introduction period. It's just you're there. So that was my biggest concern. But really nothing outside of that scope. I was super excited, had high expectations, and just was ready to get to work with the team.
Awesome. So what was your approach then when you first joined the team in Europe? How was your adjustment? I know you've mentioned that you've known some of the girls who are based in California for a while now because of the previous camps. How did they help you transition with this new World Cup bound team?
Yeah, I mean that's huge. I smile every time I hear it because it's just so big, and it's just really surreal. Every graphic I see and every picture I see with us, in the conversation of the World Cup is like it's amazing. It's just like a feeling unmatched. But um, I kind of approached this situation as I didn't want anything to hold me back. So I didn't want you know, my own doubts or whatever about myself and my playing to hold me back. I wanted, you know, like I said, everything happens for a reason and you're there for a reason. And you wouldn't be if you weren't doing something right. So I didn't want anything to hold me back mentally, physically, anything like that. So um, like I said, I just wanted to hit the ground running and, show my stuff right away. And kind of, show what I can give, bring my skills. And again, the girls based in California, really helped a lot because, I've never played international soccer. Um, and like you said, this was my first year playing pro, so I'm pretty new to that too. Um, but I would definitely say like without the girls, it would be really tough. They were all super welcoming. Very first day, hugs all around, um, and just like really embraced, the newer players and didn't hesitate to be open and honest about, whatever you needed. If you needed something, come to me type of thing. And they really took me under their wings and showed me the ropes right away and got me acclimated pretty quick. So I'll forever be grateful for the group that just brought me in like family right away.
Nice, nice. So, um, let's fast forward. Talk to me about that opening goal in the final, just in the eighth minute. Was that the set piece you've been practicing for a while with the team, or was that just you wanting to make a mark on this team in this tournament?
We've never practiced that set piece before. I've never been front post on a corner, um, ever like in my soccer playing career. I'm always back post or, running or
Mm.
anything. And Coach Naz was like, I need you to block this player. I need you to be front post and just like get big, get like, get in there, impose your strength. And I look up and the ball's coming straight at my head. And I was like, what better time than now? Like, so, um, but I mean, I always want to impose my will. And there's no better situation for me than a set piece because, I play in the back and usually that's making big tackles or passing the ball around. And, set pieces for me are kind of like the breakthrough. I'm like one of the tallest out there anyway. Like I should be getting my head on the ball. So um, definitely that moment head blanked, saw the ball coming at me, turned my head, ball in the net. I mean, can't ask for anything better, especially in the 8th minute. And that just, I felt like that just like gave us a boost. Like for the rest of the game, we are just on top of it. And there's just like no better feeling than scoring a goal, and to do it in that moment, in that atmosphere, in that, situation. It was, I still can't describe it to you, and I probably won't be able to for the next 3 years, but just know that it leaves me speechless every time I think about
Yeah, us too. It was definitely
it.
a big impact and a boost, as you've said. I think it sort of, not sort of, but it really dictated the tempo of the game after that goal. So, you've mentioned earlier that you've been training. Um, is there anything that you're currently working on to improve your game or how you play in preparation for the upcoming friendlies or the World Cup?
Yeah, always. There's always something to work on and improve on. And it's just about fine tuning the things that you're good at and making strides on the things that, you might need improvements on. But every day I'm just out there trying to, you know, be the best player I can for my team, my teammates. And, whether that's doing the running or touching the ball around or even getting shots in for a center back. You never know when that's gonna, happen. So, just every day you have to do something every day to make yourself better. And I think that's my mindset for this time that we're not with the team, is just to keep getting better and to come in every camp and be better than you were the last time. So I think that's kind of how I'm approaching this time away.
Are you training on your own or like with a okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so I'm training on my own right now, and hopefully I'll have more people to train with in the future. We'll see. Maybe.
Okay. So what's the most memorable thing about playing for the Philippines so far, Jessica?
I think it's seeing the excitement around the team. Uh, obviously I've had, my family are some of my greatest supporters, and in college you always have like fans of the school, but like the atmosphere was otherworldly. And just like the response on social media, the response after the final, um, just like all of the support that we got from the entire country was like, that was amazing. And that had to be my favorite part of the whole experience, was just seeing how much support and love we had from our fellow Filipinos. And it was so crazy. It was literally so crazy. Like this whole thing was so crazy. Like I can't even, there's like no other word to describe it, but like it was like insane. It was really insane.
It is. Okay. Let's jump to the questions from social media. So let's start with it's a question from, I think this is from Facebook, Christopher Nitora. Hopefully she can give a positive first-hand view of her experiences on the PWNT to her Philam teammates on the California Storm, like Maya Doms, Kelly Pagador, and Madison Ison, so they will be encouraged to try out in the future. Have you spoken to any of these players?
Well, no. So like the time that Maya Doms and Kelly were with the Storm, we were at the AFF, so I didn't cross paths with them. I haven't met them yet, and I've only practiced with Madison and played in one game with her. And it was like kind of before I had obviously left for the Europe camp. So um, I haven't had the chance to meet two of them and kind of like discuss with it or about it. So, um, but if I did have the opportunity, obviously it'd be glowing remarks, and I couldn't say enough about my time and my experience with the team so far. Um, and we want those types of players to come and play for the team, and um, create that healthy competitiveness and fire, and just overall make the team better. But I haven't had the chance to talk about it with them. But if I did, I probably wouldn't be able to stop talking with them about it. So
All right, thank you. I think Kelly's sister Sydney Pagador has been here. I don't know if you have you met her before,
I
Sydney?
haven't, but I do know that she has been a part of the team before, but I've never met her.
Right. Okay, so next question from Bolivs Bolivares. It's two questions. Question number one, which player does she model her game from? And question number two, how different is Southeast Asian football stylistically from US football?
Um, I've always been attracted to the Brazilian way of playing, kind of free and fun and technically sound. And I really model my game after Ronaldinho, especially uh, during his time at Barcelona. I just think he was one of the most amazing players I've watched in my lifetime. And I would get up at 3 a.m. to watch him play. And I watch his highlights all the time. And um, his awareness on the field and kind of his creativity, it was unmatched at the time. And, he was a standout for sure. And so I try to model my, my technical abilities after him and kind of like my soccer IQ after him. Um, but yeah, I think he's still my favorite player to this day, and I love him. He's my idol. I love him, and I used to pretend that I was Brazilian because I liked him so much. And when I was younger, before I had braces, I kind of looked like him because we both had like an overbite, and my
Mhm.
two front teeth were like kind of like buck teeth a little bit, and so were his. And so when I had my hair in a ponytail, I kind of looked like him. And so I really thought like I could be like him. And when I was younger, like when I was like 7 or 8. Um, but yeah, that's just an insight to how much like I love him and like love his game. And that's like the whole reason I started playing the 8 and 10 is because like I felt most like him in those positions back in club. So yeah. So that's who I model my game after. But to answer the second question, um, I would say stylistically and kind of like tactically, Southeast Asian football is so organized. And so like everyone has their role in their position and they're really good at it. And they do it really well and they're always able to get back into that position and they don't need anyone else's help to play that position. And I would say like in the US it's kind of more like free flowing organizationally where like a center back will dribble into the midfield and a six will cover for them. Or like outside backs and outside mids will interchange. And it's just kind of like that. And so I would say like um everything is so organized in Southeast Asia and it's so hard to play against and break. And on the flip side, attacking wise and defending them, it's so hard to keep track of them because everyone knows what they're doing. Like in their heads, they're all on the same page and like making like the same movements to make a play out of it. Whereas I feel like in the US, like one player will make a run and then everyone will kind of just like do their thing. Um,
Right.
but I would say like that's kind of how it's like stylistically and organizationally different from each other. But I kind of noticed that like the first like playing against like Thailand, I was like, whoa, like they are so organized. Like it's kind of insane. Um, but yeah, that's definitely like one of the differences that I noticed.
I'd agree with those observations. From Marcus Tubigan, were there any hesitations joining the Philippine women's national team?
Nope,
Nope.
no hesitations whatsoever. If
Oh,
I had the brain I had now when I was 12, I would have done it. But
earlier.
I clearly was not clearly was not there yet. So but no, definitely no
No
hesitations. Like I
hesitation.
said, like right out of UW, I was like, all right, let's get this ball rolling. Let's do this thing before it's, kind of, I guess, like not too late, but too late,
Yeah. Okay, from Anton Patenya Santos. Two questions. Question one, how does it feel scoring your first international goal for our country? And question two, do you still have the hangover 2 weeks later? I think you've answered this, but you can talk about it again.
Yeah. Well, question one, it's literally like surreal. No, absolutely no words. Um, yeah. I mean, I guess one word that like I could describe it as is like it's just I take a lot of joy seeing the pride that um and like the joy that everyone else has seeing the goals and like all of that. I just take a lot of pride in making and like seeing that reaction from the crowd and from our supporters. So I would say like I'm very proud of it and I'm proud of the team just for like pushing that hard that early. I'm the whole moment makes me really proud. And to answer your second question, honestly, like I'll be on this high for a while. And like I've mellowed out to where it's like not it doesn't show on my face, like I'm not walking around like, yeah, like come on, you guys, like do you remember that? Like it didn't happen that long ago, but like it's in my head, like I'll I'll be sitting here and I'll like think about it and I'm like, wow, like yeah, and I'll just sit here and think about it. Like I'll think about the whole thing. It'll play like a movie in my head. Or like sometimes I'll go on Facebook and like look at the highlight videos and I'm like trying to like grasp at the moments and like not let them go away. Like I'm like, I know I'm in California, but I can still make it feel like I'm there. So I mean, yeah, it's it won't go away for a while, but I mean, you're only as good as your last game or your last tournament. For us, we won, but we always want to get better. So it's all about improving from Thailand and going from there. But definitely not a bad endpoint for the campaign.
All right, definitely, definitely. So, was there this is like actually a question from Kath One. Who convinced you to play for the national team? Was it something that your dad or your mom really talked to you about when you were younger?
This girl right here convinced herself that she could do it, so she did. But no, in all seriousness, I had a lot of people, not pushing me in a way, but kind of just like supporting that idea that like, hey, that's out there for you. I had a lot of coaches, a lot of friends, a lot of family members that were like, it's yours for the taking if you want it. And ultimately, no one can force you to do anything, and you can lead a horse to water, but you can't force it to drink. And so I was led to the opportunity, and it came down to, you know, am I going to make the leap? And in my head, um, I always knew I wanted to do it. I, so I did it.
Oh, I'm glad you're with the team now. So,
Oh,
all
thank you. Me too.
right, three questions from David Gwen. Your favorite Filipino food or dish?
Definitely chicken adobo and rice made by my mother, and
Specific.
specifically the next day for breakfast.
Oh.
Yeah,
Any
that's
plan?
it.
Any plans on vacation or trips here in the Philippines?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, like I said, I you can't get enough time with family, and makes it even harder when they're in a completely different country. But it makes it even better that that's the homeland. So definitely want to keep visiting family there, and I have so much of the country left to explore too. So um, you know, vacations are for sure in sight. Absolutely.
Yeah, you should. You really should. Go
Absolutely.
outside Manila.
Yeah.
Um I don't know if you want to answer this, but his third question is your favorite teammates.
Oh man. Honestly, I don't have one. Every teammate brings something different to the table that I really like and that makes me extremely happy. And literally every single person there made me laugh. Like, and I don't, I laugh easy. Okay, whatever. But like, these guys were funny and like they were my type of humor. And like every corner I turned, it was just something that like, it's something they did or something they said. Like, that just made me like, I don't know, maybe crack up. Like I don't know, but I generally I don't have a favorite, and um it was just it's such a great group. I mean, like dang, like I couldn't ask for a better like group to come into. Like they were awesome. But yeah, I definitely don't have a favorite, and if you forced me to have one, I literally could not tell you.
You know that's why I said I'm not sure if you want to answer that. But who's the funniest though? That I want to know.
I don't know if it was because it was like after a game, and like it was like midnight, and we were just sitting there like just I don't know, delirious, but like Serena made me laugh so much. And but like okay, and like the moment I'm thinking of, like I was genuinely gonna pass out. Like I was so tired, and it was after a game. It was like 1 a.m. and we had just ice bathed, and we were just sitting around the dinner table. There's like four people there, and I was just laughing so hard. But she made me laugh a lot. Katrina made me laugh a lot. I mean, freaking Jess McClat and Liv and Sophia and Riley, like they made me laugh so freaking like and like all of us together, it's like it's a situation. It's hard to reel us in for sure. Um and like when Chandler is added to the group, it's a mess. Like it's kind of a mess, but it's funny. And like you know, you can't really enter in like one certain point or you won't get it. And like because we're just like it's just kind of crazy. It's just yeah, it's a mess, but they all make me laugh. But like definitely, I mean, Serena made me laugh a lot. Katrina made me laugh a lot. But yeah, I would say like I don't know who else. Ube made me laugh. Ube made me laugh so much, and like for things she wasn't even trying to make me laugh about. Like I don't know what happened, but she sat next to me at dinner and like or at every meal, and she was just so funny. She was funny, but yeah, I can't really pick what. See, I'm having a problem right now. I can't really pick one.
All right. Thank you. So, I think this will be more a more serious one. So from Brian Carlo Magno, describe the college recruiting process. As far as I know, the U.S. college sports system is brutal, especially if you're gunning for a D1 program. So, like when I had Mark in the podcast as well, he shared how brutal and expensive it is, and most colleges scout in ODP tournaments. Can you share your firsthand experience?
Yeah, so I did the ODP tryouts and tournaments, and I did the PDP and ID2 camps. And so I would say even like before all the scouting, like that stuff is brutal. It's, you know, for a young player, it's kind of stressful. You know, you always want to make the cut. And so that's, you know, that's stressful in itself. And there's so many girls just in Northern California. There's so many girls that are good soccer players and want to be the best and go to the best colleges. And so, you know, that was tough starting out. And then um for me and my experience, my situation, I went to a lot of like college camps when I was kind of like, you know, getting my feelers out there. And I made a list of my top 10 colleges that I wanted to go to. And I went to their ID camps and did my visits and made my rounds. You know, I went all the way out to Kansas. I went to Texas A&M, UCLA, USC, Cal, and ended up my very last camp was Washington, and stars kind of just like aligned. And from there I was like I need to go here. This is like a perfect fit for me. um and I was a sophomore in high school, so I was 15 when I committed to Washington, and that's super young. I mean, like sophomores, 15-year-olds aren't
Yeah,
even thinking about college and like what they
I know
want to
I
major
wasn't.
in and whatever. Yeah, like and so like I was just, you know, yeah, but in for me in my situation, I knew that's what I was wanting to do. What I wanted to do. So I wasn't, you know, it wasn't added pressure, but it was pressure and it was hard. And you know, it was hard hearing that schools maybe didn't want you or didn't think you were going to be a good fit. And is hard jet setting in the middle of a school year to, get a visit in during their season. And so the whole experience is tough and it's difficult and it's competitive because you're not the only one that wants to go to that school. And you're not the only soccer player that wants to play at the next level. And so it's a different mindset that you have to put yourself in. But ultimately, I definitely think I made the right choice for me. And it's all about personal preference. It's all about what's going to be right for you. Just like, at the next level turning pro, like what team's going to be the right fit for you and what situation is going to be the right fit for you. And you have to go into it with that mindset, and that can be hard, especially with like big names and big schools and different conferences and different divisions. It's hard to focus on what's going to make you the best player and the best student because you're going to school at the same time, and which is also difficult to think about. But overall, it's definitely a competitive process. It's an intense process, and you're doing it from such a young age that it might feel normal, but it kind of isn't. So, yeah, but it's definitely it's different, and everyone's experience and situation and process of how they get there is different. But yeah, I definitely was involved in all the ODP and ID2 and PDP processes and making the highlight videos and reaching out to colleges and going on visits, and a lot of time, was taken and put into this process, but it all worked out.
Gotcha. That sounds tough. So, another question from this is from Twitter, KK23 Kaya. How was the squad after the loss to Thailand in the group stages?
Yeah, I mean, up to that point, we have been winning. And so it's not a good feeling to lose. Um, and, we were upset by it, but ultimately, I feel like we used that feeling as fire and fuel so that we didn't feel that way at the end of the tournament. And it kind of pushed us to be better and to, always have our best foot forward in every moment of the game. And that's like one of the like kind of one of the only positives about the setup of the tournament and how close together the games were, was that we didn't really have enough time to dwell on it. We had one day, one or 2 days, I don't know, it felt like one, but we didn't have enough time to be like, oh man, like we lost, because we had the semifinals and like you win or you go home. And so it was, it was a tough loss, and but I feel like we learned from it and we knew what we needed to do. We knew what we needed to improve on from game to game. um but losses are always going to be hard, but it's the way that you turn them into a positive, for the next time you go out there and play. And so I feel like we used it as fuel for the fire, and turned our situation around really quick.
Right, right. And if I may share, a part of me was glad that that happened because I feel like the mindset and like the whole thing would be different. Don't you think?
Oh, 100. I agree 100%. I mean, like, yeah, would it have been nice to win? Of
Yeah.
course. But I mean, we had been winning up to that point, and like, you can get in that mindset of like, oh, we're on a roll, like we're winning,
Right.
and like, yeah, we were, but it ended up being that we used the momentum from the wins before to push us past the feeling of defeat into the next game. And so, yeah, sometimes you need that loss to be like, I don't want to feel like this again in this situation. Like, I don't want to go through this again. So I just feel like that's definitely what happened to us, is we were just like, all right, time out on this feeling. We need to turn this around. So
Yeah. Okay. So I think you answered this earlier. So from at CTX22 from Twitter, do you have plans to return to Europe to play after your stint in Turkey? So I guess maybe let's just turn this to something like maybe in terms of your preference, would you want to play in Europe or
I mean, yeah, I would love to play in Europe. You know, I watch the Champions League every year, and that's one of my favorite competitions to watch. And and obviously, I think the level of soccer in the U.S. and the NWSL it's incredible, and would I love to play in the U.S.? Of course. But I mean, from a young age, Europe's been my goal for soccer. And kind of like playing abroad has um, always been my goal. So yeah, I would, you know, I would know. I don't know if I would have a preference. Maybe a little bit, but like, wherever I end up, I just want to do well. So yeah.
Gotcha. And I think this is one of my this is my favorite question from social media so far. So from Pinay underscore Fini on Twitter, game against Thailand got pretty heated. What went through her mind when she'd seen Hallie being pushed by the Thai player? Love their backline's chemistry, by the way. He did a superb job all throughout the tournament, conceded just 2 goals. All right, talk to me about it, Jess.
Let me just okay. Let me just say I do recognize today. And after the game, I recognize I was already on a yellow card. Was it the smartest thing I ever did in my life? Probably not. A definite no. But let me tell you, let me just play the situation out for you guys, okay? So I'm running back. Haley's shielding the ball. She does a great job. Unnecessary shove to the back. Her reaction warranted. And I wasn't running back there to like, fight anybody. But as I'm turning around, 21 just gets involved in a situation she wasn't involved in. Why? So if she was allowed to do that, so was I. And I just blacked out. Like I'm no thoughts up here. Absolutely zero thoughts. And I just like I didn't know what I was gonna do and I wasn't thinking. And the chest bump just kind of came out. Like it was just like, and I was taller. So I was just like, I just had to. And after that, I saw the ref walking over and I was like, oh, I have a yellow card. So I started walking away really quickly. And like we had kind of been like chirping after that. And I was like walking like this, like talking to her. Like I was like talking and like walking. And then I'm like, oh no, the ref's coming. So I was like, and Sophia's next to me. And I'm just like, I started up a random conversation with her, like, and no point, like pointless conversation. But I was just like, I can't get another yellow card. Like, there's no way. If I get a red card in this game, it's gonna be so dumb. Like, but I could not let her do that to Haley. Like subconsciously, I just couldn't. There was something in me that was just like, I just like saw red. Like I was like, that's my captain. Like that's my other center back, my other half. Like I'm not gonna let anyone do that to her. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And you know what? If the same thing happened to Serena all the way at the top of the field, I would have gone up there, I think, in that moment. The amount of adrenaline I had was unreal. Unreal. Like I'm pretty sure it was unhealthy how I was feeling because I was just like, no one's gonna do my teammate like that. Absolutely not. But I did black out and it was all blank in that exact moment until I saw the ref walking over and I was like, walk away, Jess. Walk away. And the end. And I survived. I survived the yellow card. So it was narrow, very narrow.
Yeah.
I
Thank
don't
you for
know. I don't
thank you for
know. I
sharing
don't know.
that.
Honestly, like, yeah, that was because at that point I was like, oh, we're not losing this game and we are not getting scored on. And like I was already up here. The energy was already up here and the adrenaline added. And then it was Haley and it was just the whole situation. And Liv wasn't trying to hold me back. Liv was holding Haley back. And I was like, no one's stopping me. No one's stopping me. So I mean, maybe I'll think next time if that happens again, maybe I'll be thinking and well, hopefully I won't be on a yellow card if that happens next time, but geez, like what a narrow escape. God.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was fun to watch. I had to capture it and repost it on
I
Twitter.
mean, I've honestly the best thing that's come out of that situation are all the edits that I have seen on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. All the edits I've been sent, I'm in love. I love them. I love them. And you know what? It might not have been my brightest moment, but if everyone's having fun with it, then so am I.
It was fun. I think I've watched it more than I've watched the highlights. To be honest.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I'm
Oh
sorry.
my
That was
goodness.
fun to watch.
I love it. I love it. And I got to another highlight of
Uh-huh.
me like just like rolling the ball out
The
of the
ball, yeah.
keeper's hands on a court. Oh my God. It's just like in those moments, I'm telling you, like I absolutely am not thinking. It's just like I don't know what goes. I don't know. And I walked over. Katrina's in front of me, and I'm walking back after like aggressively throwing the ball to the corner. And like she's like, too fast, like too fast. We need to slow this game down. And I was like, yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. My fault.
Okay.
God.
All right. So from Look Transporto, favorite moment in the tournament, on or off the pitch, besides scoring the epic goal and the final whistle.
Yeah. First of all, hi Luke. He's been so amazing. Like one of the most active supporters, and um, yeah, I've loved interacting with him. And I like finally got to meet him after the final game. And I was like, I'm
Nice.
never gonna get to meet Luke. Like I cannot spot him. Well, like one, like without my glasses in those moments, I cannot see anybody in the stands. And I was like, I'm just never gonna get to meet him. And I felt really bad because I was like, he's just been like since I touched down in Turkey, he's just been such a great supporter and like is always like active on social media and in his support. And he's so like fierce in his like support of us. And
Yeah, he
so
is.
big shouts to Luke. To you also.
Ah.
You've also been there from day one. Like, thank you. Uh, but I would say top, this is like absolute, this nearly tops the goal in the final whistle is, it was like, I want to say the 85th minute. Soph had just gotten subbed out. And usually I can't hear the crowd and I can't see the crowd like in a game. Like it's I don't know what happened. Like blinders are on when I get on the field, and so like in that moment, Soph was like walking really slow, and so I had time to like look up and look around, and all I see is everyone's phone lights on, and I
Yeah.
swear like I could have cried in that moment. Like I was like, oh my God, like and I'm not even sure at that moment that the magnitude of like what was going on had hit me, like the winning and all of that stuff and scoring and all of that. Like that hadn't even hit me yet, but just seeing like looking around and like just being encompassed in phone lights, like from our supporters, like and from our fans. And it was just like I like was like transported like to a different dimension. Like I was just like, oh my God, like we're doing this. And then like the ref blew the whistle and I was like, oh, we have 5 minutes left. Like, oh, I like hold it in, just hold it in. But I got like super emotional in that moment. And I was just like, it was so great to share that with and like for the fans to have that, like to have that moment with us and like and be a part of all of it was just, I mean, like what a better like I don't know. It was just like what a situation like I don't know just like looking up and seeing all the lights I was like oh my God like this is like literally what I've worked for like my entire life like moments like those like is what you it's what you dream about as a kid and to be a part of it and like to have the fans be a part of it and experience it with the team was just I mean it was amazing and I like I don't know. And I'm so glad I got to see it while the game was going on too, because like it was just so uniform. It was like beautiful. And I was like, oh man, like I don't even care that it's like 1,000 degrees out here. I'm just having a good time. So yeah, that had to be the top moment for sure for me. But yeah, that was awesome.
It's bringing me back. I might cry for a bit.
Oh, trust me, every time I see a highlight video, which is often, I like tear up. I like
Mm.
I get tears because I and like it's even like when I see highlights of the Australia game, like I'm like, this was the beginning. like, like, no, like remember that. And like it's so fun to watch because like each game got better and better too. And like
Yeah.
the stands got more full. Like it was just so cool to see. Um, but yeah, I definitely get emotional every time I look back on it. And it's even worse when I see video and like pictures. Like Pam will not stop posting pictures, and it is getting to me. Like God, like every time, and like they're action shots too. And I'm out here like, oh my God, yeah. Like, wow, look at those pictures. Like, what is wrong with me? But like it is. It's like a bit, it's huge. And so, and it's, you know, one of the biggest things I've ever done in my soccer career. So yeah, it makes me emotional. And I mean, I can't wait for the next thing with the team. But yeah, this is definitely like moments that I'll be telling my grandkids someday. So yeah.
Yeah, and we're just getting started. So
Yeah. Yeah. Shoot. What a good start.
okay, so this is a question from me. Which teams do you wish to play or not play against in the World Cup?
I honestly, that's a good question. Did you ask this question in media day?
No, I didn't, but I ask it to every player on my pod. But somebody asked it on media day. Yeah.
And I think Haley gave a great answer too. Like I'm thinking about Haley's answer. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, like there's not one team that I think I wouldn't want to play. And obviously I know that it'd be harder to play some teams than it would to play other teams. But um I don't think there's one team that I wouldn't play because all of it would be a learning experience and it'd be a first for us for every game. Um, and so it'd be exciting, you know, to play a Sweden, to play a US, to play a France, and to see how we rise to the occasion. Um, so while it's daunting and they're amazing teams, and yeah, like that, you know, like
Mm.
that is nerve wracking, but would I not want to play against them? Absolutely not. I would, you know, some of them I watch like on TV. Like I would love to play against them. So, um, yeah, I think every game against some of the top would be an opportunity, a great opportunity for us to, you know, test ourselves, and just kind of see how it goes. But I don't think there's one team I wouldn't play against. I'd want to play. Let's play against them all. Let's do it. Every country. Let's just go after them. I'm down.
Love the mindset. Love the
Yeah,
spirit.
let's get after it. I'm down. I'm telling you, I'm still on that high. Like, let's go. I'm ready to play some games out here.
Okay, so lastly, Jessica, your message to the stakeholders of Philippine women's football.
I would just say, like, notice it. Notice it because everyone, I mean, eight more than 8,000 people were present at the game. And over 1 million people have interacted with us all over social media. We're tuning into the game on Facebook Live. Like, I would say believe in it and support it. And it is just the beginning for us. And I mean, if this past month and a half doesn't tell you all you need to know about how ferocious and like hungry we are to make this exactly what we want it to be, then I like I don't know what would show you, but I mean, you have to believe in it. You have to, because that's where it starts. And we believe in it, or else we wouldn't be out here and we wouldn't have done the things we just did. But you have to believe in it. Because even in the bad times, even in the times where you're like, what am I getting myself into? You have to trust it, and you have to trust us, and you have to trust the staff and everyone involved. You have to see it, and you have to see that it's coming to fruition. Like none of this is going to waste. None of it. So I would just say, you know, like have belief and have trust that, you know, we're putting our all into this country, and you know, we want the same tenacity and passion back for sure.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That's it. That's it.
Shout out to Ultras Filipinas. You guys are the reason
Yeah,
for
can I
this
see
bad boy
that?
right here.
Let's see.
Absolutely. Let's see, my camera is so bad,
Oh
but
gosh, that's so
it's all healed
nice.
up now. Yeah.
That is so
Check it out.
nice. Yeah.
I knew I had to get it because there's that one picture I posted on Instagram and I saw the banner in the background. I was like, I have to do it. And then after like kind of learning about the meaning and, delving deeper into it and talking to my family about it too, like, I just think it's so important, especially like, playing for the Philippines, like, and like the team that I'm literally on, like, that is so important for us and for that message to be heard. So I was like, you know what? I have to have this as a tattoo. I have to get it. So yeah, I had to. Shout out to Ultras Filipinos for that banner. That was sick. That was sick for sure.
Yeah, thank you, Ultras.
Yeah.
I think I'll be sending Kent this a part of this
Oh,
episode.
yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Thanks, Jess.
Thanks.
Good night. Good night.
Good night. Oh, yeah. Good afternoon to you.
Yeah, all right. Bye.
Bye.